Hello. I have an announcement. I have a huge announcement. And the announcement is that I'm leaving my flop era. I know it's a big deal. I'm sure you're all so invested, but I wanted to tell you about it. If you've seen any of my content or kept up with my life at all in the past couple years, you know that I have just been through the ringer when it comes to my style, the way that I look, the way that I, exercise, take care of my body, my friendships, my relationships. I'm constantly complaining on the internet about how I'm struggling. And for once in my gosh dang life, I feel like I have made some real change and some lasting change. And that is what I'm here to tell you guys about. Because I'm not saying like, ooh, I've changed my life. I've fixed everything. Everything's good now. I'm saying I'm leaving my flop era. That's exactly what I'm calling it because it's true. So before I tell you about leaving the flop era, let me just get a little bit more into what my flop era was and what that means to me. And then we'll talk about what it took for me to get out of it. Okay? So the first thing is my sense of style. I didn't grow up with a mom who had like a big passion for fashion. She didn't care that much about what she wore, and she would just take us shopping the cheapest place that she could find, and we'd get whatever we got. And honestly, I think most kids are like that. But like when I became a teenager, I started to want to experiment more with clothes, and I didn't have a lot of guidance. I kind of had my sisters, but they have their own, styles and things going on, and I would kind of just do whatever they did. But the older I got, the more that I fucking hated my wardrobe. And it's like I would find some style that I really liked and then I would chase after it. And then after, a couple weeks or a month or one shopping trip or whatever, I was like, this is not sustainable. I don't like this and I hate all my clothes again. And then I would go through my wardrobe and I would get rid of all my clothes and then that would be the end of it, right? And so there was never any consistency. It was like I never had a real style. Like me personally, Danny Gallardo, I did not have a style. I just was chasing after what I thought might make me feel good or what the trend was, right? And so that was a big reason why I was flopping because I would wake up in the morning, I wouldn't get dressed. I mean, I still don't get dressed every day, but we'll get to that later. I wouldn't get dressed. I would hate the way I looked. I wouldn't do my hair and I just did not like my clothing. And I would get dressed and I would leave the house and then I would look back on my outfit and be like, oh, that looks so bad. And I would be out and see other girls and see their clothes and be like, oh, they look so much better than me. I would go on TikTok, see other girls' outfits and be like, oh, they look so much better than me. Okay. Fashion has been a big insecurity of mine for many years. You guys don't know how many videos I've watched that are like how to put together an outfit, how to be more fashionable, best dressed, that girl on YouTube. I tried to be her. I don't know. There's a lot. Okay. I really just didn't know how to dress. And it was a big burden on me for many years. Okay. So that's the first thing that I was flopping in. The second thing was taking care of myself. I am a very inconsistent person. Okay. I got ADHD up my asshole. Bad way to describe it. But I'm very inattentive. I always forget to do things. I cannot stick to a routine for the most part to save my life. And you guys have seen this in my YouTube videos. You've seen it play out many times. But I've always wanted to be like an active person. And that was always my goal. I have never like tried to really lose weight or like be a certain appearance or whatever. I just wanted to be active. I wanted to be those people who, wake up in the morning and go for a long ass run or a bike ride, or like people who love to hike. Those people always inspired me so much, right? But I could never do it because I would start working out and then I would forget about it. So did not take care of myself. Another area was my eating. I don't like think too much about food. I have a really good relationship with food, but like, I don't know, I would go through phases as everybody does, and I wasn't very conscious of it. And here's the biggest thing. It was never lasting when I was conscious of what I was eating. Again, not about losing weight, but just about like whether it was good for me, whether it made me feel good, whether it made my body feel nourished, stuff like that. I never really thought about that for too long. Okay. And then another way that I was really flopping was in my relationships. I just need to interrupt the video to tell you about the sponsor of today, which is Pair Eyewear. So these are my everyday glasses, but I just got another pair and both of these are from Pair Eyewear. And what's really cool about these is that I can actually change out the color of my glasses just by putting on new top frames is what they're called. So these are super cheap and you don't have to buy an entire new pair of glasses to like have an entirely new look. You can even put sunglasses on, which is really fun. I've been wearing glasses for almost a year now, and I love them, and I love being able to switch out and have different looks depending on my outfit. These ones are called the Twain. These ones are called the Wanda. I love both of them. They're amazing. They're super good prices. These are my prescription glasses, so I wear these all the time. They're extremely comfortable. They fit my face really well, which like is not really easy to find personally with glasses. Most of them are kind of ugly and really wide and bulky, but they have a bunch of different ones, a bunch of different shapes, a bunch of different colors, and not to mention a ton of different top frames, which only cost like $25 each, so you can change out. Literally have an entirely new pair of glasses for like 20 bucks, which is great. But also, even if you don't have to wear glasses all the time and you want to get non-prescription glasses just for fun, or blue light glasses, they have those as well. And they also have a virtual try-on, so you can put any pair of glasses on your face to see what it would look like. I did that with this pair just to make sure that the shape would look good, and alas, it fits me perfectly. Also, what's great about these sunglasses is that they are going over my prescription glasses, so I don't have to buy prescription sunglasses and spend a bunch more money. I just have these. And to top it all off, I have a discount code to get you guys 15% off your first order. So all you have to do is use the code DannyCalledo15. I'll put it right here on the screen, DannyCalledo15, and go to the link in my description, click on the link, put in the discount code, and you will get 15% off your first pair of eyewear glasses. And guys, I'm telling you, you see me wear my glasses every day. I love my glasses. I love Pair. They are so amazing. I love the versatility, and I love the top frames, and I love everything about it. Anyway, let's get back to the video. Okay, and then another way that I was really flopping was in my relationships. And I kind of summarized this all in the beginning of the episode, but I'm just trying to go into every little thing about it before I move on to getting out of my flop era. But I have had no friends for many years, in case you didn't know. I had friends in like high school age, and I'm 22, okay? So like 17 years old, 18 years old, I kind of didn't have any friends, like towards the end of high school, and I was very lonely. I got married, and Emin was my only friend. And after a long time of not having a lot of friends, I kind of just convinced myself that I wasn't meant for close relationships like that. I don't know if that makes sense, but like I thought that I was just too different. I've had a very weird life, and my brain is very different, in my opinion, than most people. I don't know if it's different, but I feel more mature than people my age often. I feel very out of place often. And there have been so many times in the past multiple years where I just feel like a weirdo, and I feel like I don't connect with anybody. And I kind of became okay with that before I moved to LA. I was just living in Nashville, like, you know what, maybe friends just aren't for me, right? And that was probably the biggest way that I was flopping personally, because I need friendships. Like, I think everybody does, but especially me. I don't need a lot of friends, but I need some. And so that was another really big way that I feel like I was majorly flopping, okay? So moving on to getting out of my flop era, I did know that I needed to fix things, and I knew that my life wasn't, right, because I kept running into that cycle of like, I need to change. Okay. I need to change. Okay. I need to change. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like something's going wrong in your life when you keep ending up in the same place. It doesn't matter what you try or who you talk to or how often you do whatever, you end up in the same place. I think that's when you know that something is majorly wrong. And I was noticing that about myself. And so that was one of the reasons why I got my job, which I've talked about in a lot of videos before if you want to learn more about that. But basically, once I got my job and I moved to LA from Nashville and I kind of got settled down, I think it was that 9 to 5 mindset that honestly like fixed me in a way. I don't know what it did. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I stopped thinking about myself all day long and I started to have, okay, I got it. It's because I had limited hours in the day. I wasn't thinking about myself all day long. I wasn't stuck, just making YouTube videos about my own personal life and being very self-centered all the time. But also, I had limited hours to do what I need to do. And this is something that most people experience. But in case y'all didn't know, I've never experienced that. I was homeschooled and I didn't have a regular job. Like, I had weird hours, and like often, especially after leaving Cimarelli and moving to LA and like, living with Emin and everything, I had so many hours to myself. Like, there were so many days in the week where I literally did nothing all day, or like I just focused on myself all day or thought about my YouTube channel all day. And there was no other life outside of that, right? And so I think when I started to have limited time, like such limited time, because when you have a 9 to 5, especially in the winter time, sorry, I'm getting angry, but when you have a 9 to 5, like you have the morning, which I personally don't like to wake up too early. I like to wake up at like 7:30 or 8 every day. So I have like an hour before I start work, okay? And then by the time you're done with work, it's nighttime. So in the winter time, it feels like the day's fucking over at 5 p.m., but it's not. But it feels like that. But every other time of the year, like you have from 5 to, 9, 10 p.m. whenever I go to bed. Those are the only hours that I had to do what I wanted to do. And I think that is what started to push me because I had such limited time, so I had to be more selective. And so I honestly think the thing that really catapulted me out of my flop era and when I noticed a really big change was working out. And I started going to the gym in the end of August, and it's November now. And I just kind of started going to like finally do it. I always, like I said, wanted to be an active person, but I never really, really did it. But since I had this limited time in my day and I wanted to take better care of myself, I was like, I'm just going to get a gym membership and start going. Like I was craving that feeling of like moving my body instead of sitting at a desk all day. That's another thing. Now that I have my job, I was sitting a lot more. So I was like, I need to start moving my body. So once I started working out, something just changed in my brain. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's chemical or if it's just like a routine thing, but on the days when I exercise, I feel like I have to do things that coincide with that. So like I have to eat things that make me feel good because if I don't eat stuff that makes me feel good, I'm going to throw up after my workout. And then also like I have to take a shower. I'm forced to take a shower every single day, which is a surprisingly hard thing to remember sometimes. And then I want to get dressed after I take a shower, right? And then you start working out, you start thinking about your appearance more and not in an unhealthy way. You just kind of start noticing things. And that honestly started to drive me to think about my outfits more. And I mentioned earlier that this has been like a constant struggle of mine, but something about the idea of taking care of myself in the gym made me want to take care of myself outside of the gym as well. And my clothes were like a huge part of that because I like to be comfortable. So most of the time when I come home, when I wake up in the morning, when I'm working, whatever, I'm in home clothes. I'm in comfortable home clothes. And all my comfortable home clothes were ugly as shit. So I was feeling really good about myself, exercising, eating good, whatever. And then I would get dressed afterwards or whatever in between, and I would look horrible. And I felt horrible. And I was just wearing like shitty sweatpants and a not matching t-shirt or a hoodie or whatever. Like that's what I wear all the time. So I got motivated to get casual, comfortable clothes that not only look good, but are comfortable and make me feel good. And that in turn inspired me to get better clothes for the rest of my day as well. And I started to think about comfort as like the center of it, and that changed everything, okay? Jesus Christ, I'm burping so much right now. Anyway, I started to get yoga pants. Comfortable, cute, nice yoga pants. Not shitty. I was investing in myself. I got some expensive ones and I got some yoga pants that made me feel comfortable and cute, right? And then to match the yoga pants, I had to find t-shirts. I had to find hoodies. I started to realize that wearing an extra large hoodie with yoga pants doesn't look as good as wearing a small hoodie with yoga pants, for example, or wearing a shitty t-shirt versus wearing a cute t-shirt like from Zara. I think that's where this one is from. It just looks better. And also, most of these things I found at Goodwill because I hate spending money and I refuse to spend money on clothes. I refuse to buy stuff at full price if I can find it at Goodwill. So most of the like brand name, nice, good brand stuff that I found was at Goodwill. Like I found Alo Yoga, I found Gap, I found, like I said, Zara. I mean, some of it was fast fashion stuff, but still, I found it at Goodwill. I found Nike. Like I just set my mind to finding cute, affordable clothes that made me feel good about myself. And it just started to come to me, right? And I've really been finding my personal sense of style. I've been like emphasizing when I get dressed, like stuff that I really, really like. And I've been getting rid of clothes that I don't like, and it's life changing. And I haven't allowed myself to give in to trends or like see something that's very like out of pocket that I would never wear and then buy it because that was something that I used to do. I've been very safe with my choices while still pushing my boundaries because if I was too safe, I would just wear black all the time because that's the only color that I like to wear. But I've been making a lot of big fashion changes, okay? And then my friendships just kind of started to blossom over time. This wasn't really related to working out or anything. This didn't happen recently. This has definitely been a time thing, but moving to LA has brought me the most amazing friends that I could possibly ask for. I honestly have too many friends, not to brag or anything, but I feel like the Lord has just rained down his blessings upon me. And I had literally no friends. I was in a friend drought for many, many years. And now I'm in a friend rainstorm, a friend thunderstorm, if you will, and there's too many people who want to hang out with me. So it's a really good problem to have, but it's a little bit stressful. But I think that it kind of just goes to show that the more time you spend working on yourself and the more time that you spend trying to love yourself and take care of yourself and be happy on the inside, the more you're not only going to attract people who do the same, but you're also going to like see your friendships for what they are. So there are some people who I've met who I haven't hung out with since I've come to LA because I've just realized that we don't match up, right? Or that they don't necessarily meet the like friend, I don't want to say standard, but like the thing that I want in a friend. I notice that they're not really that. And those are things that I wouldn't have noticed a couple years ago. Part of it's also growing up, but like, I don't know, now that I care more about myself, I care about my life, I'm much more selective with my time because I have so little time. And I feel like I'm not just friends with anyone. Like I will be friends with people if they're great and I feel like we connect really well. And I feel like I've really cultivated a lot of people around me who love me and care about me, which I did not have before. And so I don't know if it's the circle of life. I don't know if it's growing up. I don't know if it's, like I said, the Lord raining down blessings on me because I've just been through so much in the past couple years. But I feel like everything's coming together. I have great friends. I work out relatively consistently. I want to say like 3 times a week, sometimes 5 or whatever. I dress much better than I used to. I take care of myself. Like my day to day is 1 trillion times better than it used to be. And I can't just attribute it to one thing. I think working out did seriously help me a lot. But like just it's been happening over time. And the thing that's really made me go from like temporary life changes to long-term life changes, I think has just been consistency. Because I didn't just go like overnight to doing all these things every single day or feeling happy every single day. There's ups and downs, and like there's weeks where I don't work out, or there's weeks where I sit in bed all day and I hate myself and hate everything. But there's a lot more weeks that I don't do that than there used to be, if that makes sense. And I'm just putting in the work consistently to change things. And I'm not trying to do anything too quickly. I'm just being realistic with myself and being gentle with myself, which is just a great thing to do. And it's working. It really is working. And those things that people say about like, oh, consistency is key. It's so true with every aspect of life. Like I've just been putting my head down and living every day and taking it one day at a time and not putting too much pressure on myself and telling myself that it's okay to have a bad week or a bad month or whatever. And I've been making some serious long-term changes that I'm really, really noticing in my life. And it feels so good, guys. I really am leaving my flop era and I'm feeling really, really great about myself. And this is just a nice little positive update for you guys for my life that it's going really, really well. So thanks for being there for me through the literal worst times in my life, if you were, or if you're new here and you're just tuning in, thanks for coming because there's going to be a lot more ahead of us and I'm going to keep you guys updated. I'm going to try not to abandon you, but I do say that every single time, so I'm really sorry. But yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening or day or whatever, and I love you. Bye.